Hey, what's up, world? What's up, St. Louis? And those of you in the East Coast as well and West Coast. And this is a special episode of Mo Football where we'll be talking Club World Cup and what all of the madness that's been happening for the past, I say, month or so. And today I have the pleasure to have a special guest where the fun, beautiful way of connections with it comes to soccer is that we all have soccer in common. And I have Julio from the Kickball podcast. So how are
Yes.
you doing, my friend?
Good, good. Just kind of disappointed after watching that Monterrey game against Dortmund. But yeah, just excited to talk about what's been going so far this summer with the FIFA Club World Cup with you. And yeah, just super excited, man.
All right. Yes. So before we go and maybe try to break your heart a little bit from your moderate and all that. So I'll bring up the bracket as well here. So they've been quite a very, we'll say, fun games. Some unexpected result and some
Mhm.
expected result, we'll call it. So, but before we jump to that in general, so um, tell me a little bit about how you feel about this whole Club World Cup. There was a lot of talk about attendance and the timing and the heat. Um, so your standpoint, how is that um, Club World Cup been for you as a fan experience?
No, it's been fun so far. I went to most games out here in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl because I live an hour away from Los Angeles. But yeah, it's been fun so far. Just a bunch of heat and stuff like that. But the thing that I would change is like all the West Coast games, they were like at 12 p.m. I would rather change those to the 6 p.m. game or the 3 p.m. games and stuff like that, so more people could end up going. But for the PSG Atletico Madrid game, that the Rose Bowl was like super packed. But then towards like the other games and stuff like that, it was mainly probably like half full and stuff like that. But just the timing, I guess. But I get it because they want like the Europeans and other countries to watch the game as well. So I understand that, but yeah, I would just change the hours and stuff like that. Then also probably the price of tickets and stuff, because yeah, probably give them away or something to probably the youth kids or something like that, so it could help fill up the seats and it could look good on TV and stuff like that, and you'll get new fans and stuff like that because a bunch of kids will be watching like their idols and stuff. So yeah, just disappointed in that. But like I said, I've been enjoying watching the whole tournament so far. A bunch of upsets, but yeah, it's been fun so far.
Yeah, and you definitely show that made a great point. Yeah, and it looks like I'm having a little difficulty on here. So are you still? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I could hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. If it's StreamYard, but for some reason I'm a ghost. But that happens sometime.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
perfect.
there.
Yes. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that you kind of mentioned is like giving away tickets because it's for the eyes of the rest of the world. They don't know if you give away the tickets or if it was a sold out.
Mhm,
All they see is a packed stadium. So that was definitely a miss on maybe FIFA in general. And
mhm,
it was definitely a miss because everybody talked about the attendance versus who was on the field.
mhm. What was that? 1 million seats were left open during the group stage. So that's
That's
one
right.
million new fans you could have attracted.
Yeah, and free always attracts more people. So
Hmm.
maybe they should think a little bit better about that part alone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
So
yeah.
go ahead.
No, if Infantino is listening, he should, yeah, at least give away the tickets to the youth. But yeah, that's the thing that I would, because I as a fan and probably the players as well don't like seeing empty stadiums. So yeah, I would give away tickets.
Yeah, and nobody knows, right? It
Mm,
all they see is, hey, there was 80, 90,000 people at the stadium. They don't say there was 75,000 of them were free.
yeah.
Uh, so yes, so outside of for the group stage, was there a one game that kind of surprised you with the final outcome, or a team that like, oh, I didn't know about those guys, and here they are now.
Well, not there wasn't just one team. It was mostly all the Brazilian teams that like I thought they overachieved because I don't watch Brazilian league that much, but they all performed. Like I got to watch Botafogo get that win over PSG, which was historic. But yeah, just all the Brazilian teams just surprised me and stuff like that. They like gained me as a fan like that. I'll be watching more Brazilian league. So yeah, just all probably yeah, the Botafogo PSG game also. But like I said, just all the Brazilian teams are fun to watch and exciting to watch too. And I love how they play as well.
Oh yes, they definitely gain a lot of fans. Probably even, I don't know if winning the tournament will be their biggest prize, but I think the attendance and the eyes on those clubs will definitely go a long way compared to winning it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, so pretty much what we'll do now is I will bring up the pretty much what they've shown is the round of 16 and the quarterfinals. Um, and then after that, we'll just go, like you mentioned, we'll go left to right. So left, go down, and then go to the right side. Um, like you mentioned, the first one was the Palmeiras against Botafogo, the team that unfortunately beat my team on that. So, what was your thought about that game first? Because it was not the game I expected it to play like.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be way more goals, but also shout out to both supporters groups from each team for traveling to that game. Like, also, I forgot to mention that about the Brazilian, the South American teams, just all the supporters that traveled and stuff like that. Much respect to them. But yeah, for that game, yeah, I thought Botafogo was going to end up winning, but they did not. And I thought it was a boring game, to be honest, and stuff like that. I was expecting more goals, but yeah, Palmeiras ended up winning, and we'll see what they could do next game.
Yes, and I think that was pretty much what I expected him to be a lot more. Watching him against PSG, I thought it was going to be a little bit more dynamic team, but it looks like they completely parked the bus pretty much and um,
Hmm.
endured 114 minutes. And as we can see, Chelsea pretty much she was one of those weird American games that happened where they play all the way to the 80th minute, and then there's a weather delay, 2.5 hours. They have to play 5 minutes, and all to behold is become 1-1, and then all of a sudden it is a 4-1. Um, I think that was probably one of the weirdest game of this round. But
Hmm.
what was your thought about those two European teams, Tasha?
Well, yeah, Benfica. They were playing like decent and stuff. Well, I haven't got to watch Benfica play in a while and stuff like that. But yeah, just Chelsea getting that big win over Benfica. Like I didn't think they performed the best during the group stage and stuff like that. But this one will help their confidence and. Yeah, it should be a good matchup against Palmeiras. But yeah, Chelsea has a good team, and yeah, should be a good game against Palmeiras.
Yeah, and I think the one I'm also a Chelsea fan when it comes to EPL. So um, the interesting part is that Palmer have I think a few players that actually are under contract with Chelsea. So I
Okay.
think so. It looks like I don't know how much he's going to play, but it's going to be quite interesting to have one of your players on the contract playing with the other team. So that one is, I think for me, it's almost one of those. It's the second um game that I'm not really sure how it's going to end. Um, and then the second one, this for the second bracket, we had Enter Milan against Flamengo. So how was that game? Because that one was one of the crazy ones.
The Inter Milan Fluminense, or was
Yes,
it?
yes, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Well, yeah. I also got a chance to watch Inter play over here at the Rose Bowl, and I was actually at the Monterrey Inter game where Sergio Ramos scored that famous. Well, now it's going to be a famous corner that helped Monterrey get that point and helped them advance. But like I said, Fluminense, all these Brazilian teams, they have a bunch of weapons, and yeah, I guess they were just too much for Inter. But yeah, all these Brazilian teams have good players, well coached. But yeah, their whole coaching staff is full of ballers. But yeah, it was yeah. They scored early, and that probably messed Inter up mentally and stuff like that. Like they weren't expecting that. But yeah, these Brazilian teams are just surprising a bunch of teams. But yeah, it should be a good game next round. But yeah, well played for Fluminense.
Yeah, I think Inter is like almost like the old guys, the old guard. I think
Yeah,
I was not expecting too much of him, but yeah, it I think the whole Champions League being whooped 5-0, I think that kind of still they still need some time to recover. Maybe the Club World Cup was not the time for them to play. They should have gone on vacation a little bit.
yeah, a bunch of tired legs and stuff from them too, with the older players and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, a bunch of teams. Yeah, you could tell that they need their vacation right now. Just they're probably exhausted, but yeah, wish them nothing but the best in wherever they end up going on vacation. But yeah,
Oh, yeah, and I think in the Brazilian team, I think Fluminense also had their coaches Luis, who I believe play with Atletico de Madrid and Chelsea. So he's like one of the youngest coaches in the tournament. I think he's like 38 or
hmm
something. So it's not like he's like a out of nowhere coach. He's like he played in Europe for a lot of time. So this playing against Europe is almost not a surprise for him.
like he knew how they were going to play and stuff like that, and probably had a good game plan. Yeah, but like I said, Fluminense has a bunch of talented players as well. So yeah, they stepped up, and yeah, it should be a good game next round.
Oh, they're going. I'm sure Europe will be buying a lot of those players, Brazilian players,
Yeah,
after this season.
yeah, the owner's probably like, yes,
Oh,
they're gonna make the money.
yeah, the price will go up. And
Yeah.
the final one on the left side of the bracket, I think that was the craziest one and the one that the whole pretty much the whole world is talking about when it was Manchester City versus Al Hilal, where that all of the games that you wanted to see between Botafogo and Palmeiras actually happened on that game. So
hmm
how did you take that game? What was your reaction, and what does that say about the global sport now? That it is not just one or two continents.
Yeah. Well, like everyone else, I thought Manchester City was gonna end up winning at least probably like 2-0 or something like that, 3-0. Especially when they scored early. I was like, I don't think Al Hilal was gonna have a chance. But then I don't know, like if some people just think Al Hilal, oh, it's a team in the Middle East, like they don't have good players or anything. But if you look at their roster, they're super stacked. Like they have a bunch of former European players. Like they wasted a bunch of money on all these players and stuff. Like, yeah, it's just. Oof. I wasn't expecting it, especially Manchester City being up. Then Al Hilal with that comeback that out of nowhere. Then the goal line save as well. I
Yeah,
forgot what the player's name was, but yeah, that was probably one of the best games this round. But yeah, Al Hilal, much respect to them for people didn't see them beating Manchester City, but like I said, another team that's also well coached with a bunch of
exactly.
talented players, but Manchester City, whew, rough season for them. But yeah, hopefully they could regroup and do something next season. But yeah, respect to Al Hilal for the win.
Yeah, and pretty much like you said, they were stacked. Pretty much, um, I think they have 5 or 8 players that played, in the Chelsea and the Manchester City. Pretty much that played. So it's not a team that is not cheap and probably would have beat most MLS teams anyways. It's just,
Hmm.
and I think one of the things that I keep telling people as well is that when you play against the big teams, that's where some of those players have a chip on their shoulders. And I think it's one of those games where the smaller one knew they had no chance. So just throw everything out and see what happens. And hey, they shocked the world.
Hmm. The big one, yeah, against Manchester City, who a bunch of people were furious. But like I said, well respect to Al Hilal for doing what they're supposed to do. And yeah, it should be a exciting game next round for them too. But we'll see how it goes.
Yes, and then after that, the other games that had all the eyes on the rest of the world was PSG versus Inter Miami. So we're talking Messi. I think everybody Messi, Messi, Messi. So how? So we knew there were some expectations on who was going to win, anyways. But how was your take on that game, and what is the outcome off the field for Miami and the MLS in general?
Yeah, you just saw the Champions League winners, just the quality of players that they have compared to MLS Inter Miami players. Like they're Inter Miami's defense isn't even that good in my opinion and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're just they could have just probably demolished them even more. But like I felt bad for Luis Suarez, Messi, and stuff like that. But just the quality players that PSG has is way too much, even for teams in Europe and stuff like that. Just but like compared to Inter Miami, the level's like way high and stuff like that. It's just they're on another level and stuff like that. But just yeah, just they're on another level. But yeah, I thought they should have scored more goals and stuff like that. But that's why I don't like the cap rule in MLS. Like that limits them on getting quality players. But if they would have spent more money, they probably would have competed. But yeah, right now what's limiting Inter Miami, their defense isn't that good. A bunch of young players too, who they Noah Allen, Avalos, like that don't have that much experience. Like going up against the PSG players, like who do you expect or what do you expect? Like PSG is just going to dominate. But yeah, hopefully the cap rule changes. But yeah, shout out to PSG for just dominating Inter Miami.
Yeah, if I'm hoping for, and you and I spend a lot of time on social media, so heard all of the discourse of what MLS should do to be able to maybe catch up to the rest of the world, which I think that's probably tried to sell too much because I don't think MLS will come close enough to the rest of the world, but not necessarily games just yet. Because the progress and the players are coming off of the ranks of MLS versus, let's say, PSG is still huge compared to, even if you were to spend 200 million on players, you still don't have the pipeline to keep up with everybody else. All right, so the next one, so I think that was Flamengo versus uh Bayern Munich. So that one was also all eyes on everybody, thinking if Europe was going to flop again, but it ended up about winning. Ge- My apologies. I don't know
No,
what's going on.
yeah, we should be good now.
Yeah, this is the first time things. This is madness.
No,
Uh, so, what was your take on the Bayern win? Have they surprised you from how they started at the beginning of this the tournament and now?
uh, well, yeah, yeah, I guess so. Well, but just the quality of players that they also have, just a bunch of like talent, yeah, star players all over the field, and yeah, it was a good game. 4-2. Yeah, but yeah, just the talent that Bayern Munich has, like respect to them and stuff like that. A bunch of hard workers, and Harry Kane ended up getting his 2 goals and stuff like that. Yeah, so good for him and stuff like that. I know he has a bunch of doubters, haters. You just see it all over social media and stuff like that. But good for him because that's going to help the team during the next few rounds. Because I see him going. Or yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah,
Yeah,
just yeah, overall talent that Bayern Munich has compared to Flamingo and stuff. But yeah, should be excited next round.
yeah, and he's scoring goals. So I think that's the. Um, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I always make fun of Harry Kane because he didn't win as much with Tottenham, but he he has the right team now to help him maybe win a few more trophies. Well, all right, so yes, so then after that there was the other German team, Dortmund, that was actually playing against your team, Monterey, that just ended a few minutes or an hour ago. So I think that's the one that's closer and more personal to you. Um, so the score was 2-1, I believe, the end. Um, so how was that game? How did Monterey start the game? How was your feeling about it from the start and as the game progressed um, and it
Yeah, uh, during the beginning or prior to the start of the game, I told myself, or I was telling people as well, that Monterrey needs to get that quick goal to get that momentum. Uh, I knew it was going to be a super tough game, especially with the talent Dortmund has and stuff like that. But Monterrey has also been playing well, especially in the group stage. But yeah, they didn't get that goal that I wanted them to get in the first 15 minutes. Dortmund ended up scoring early, and I think that like shocked them because they probably had a well game plan planned out. But yeah, then yeah, Dortmund just scored those first 2 goals, and I don't know, they couldn't do anything. Like Dortmund was pressuring them all the whole time. Like they couldn't do anything until like later on until halftime. They made a few adjustments. Then they got that goal, which kind of made things exciting. The fans started being more loud. It was yeah, but then I don't know, just Dortmund. Then Monterrey, I don't know. They made these 3 substitutions. They took out Gatito Corona, which is
yeah.
probably one of their top players, and Oliver Torres as well. But they were probably exhausted, tired from the whole tournament as well. But Yeah, just Dortmund, just too much quality, I guess, compared to what the best team in CONCACAF. If you look at their roster, in my opinion, I think they're the best team in CONCACAF. Their goalies, uh, a baller. Their defense, it was Sergio Ramos. Their midfielders, a bunch of underrated midfielders, and Berta is an underrated forward as well. A bunch of people don't know about him, but he's been scoring this group stage. But yeah, the better team ended up winning. Yeah, shout out to Dortmund again. But like I said, just kind of still sad about it. But that's what I love about soccer. You win some, you lose some, and it hurts more when it's a tournament. But like,
Oh,
shout out to Dortmund.
oh yes, and I actually do have a Monterey jersey somewhere um in my closet of full of jerseys too. So yes, and you have also a Real Madrid legend and probably one of the craziest center back in probably world football for uh, a long time. So how is it to watch him play? Even though he's beating Mother Nature on age because he's probably in better shape than most 25-year-old. Um,
hmm
so how is it to watch him play, closer to him and kind of cheer for him now from this side of the world?
Yeah, when they first got him, I didn't know what to expect. But then I think they got, when they added him, it was also during the CONCACAF Champions League, and they ended up losing, I think, against Vancouver. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it, like after that, I thought this project isn't going to go right. But then they ended up picking it up with him. Like, I don't know. I think he needed time to adjust, especially to a new country and Mexico. But uh, yeah, but the fans love him. Like, yeah, I have friends who are out in Monterey and just say good things about him. Yeah, like there's a bunch of love for him, especially, come on, he's one of the greatest center backs ever and stuff like that. If he ends up playing at your team, like you don't expect that, like a Mexican team getting Sergio Ramos, like that's like that never happens and stuff. But yeah, he represented the team and the Liga MX Monterrey, the whole, all of CONCACAF with like, yeah, he just much respect to him. Like he put out his heart and stuff like that. I actually had a few friends who who attended one of the training sessions out here in LA, and he's the last player to leave. He does a bunch of sprints and extra work after practice and stuff. So that's how you know that he could still play at a high level because he's always putting that extra work. Like you see his physique and everything like that. Like he's just one of a kind, like Cristiano Ronaldo. They're just different. But yeah, yeah. Let's see how it goes and stuff like that. But it's just been fun watching him.
Oh yes, he's different. You hate him when you play against him, but you love him when he plays for your team. He's pretty much that type of player.
Yeah, but like yeah, I would get that if you're a Barca fan. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, just good thing to have him on Monterey. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I don't listen to Barca fan because it's the fun part. They may hate him when he plays for Real, but then when he plays for Spain, they still love him because he's played for the country. So it
yeah.
you take him when it's needed.
Mm-hmm. No,
And
but yeah,
the last one was his last team, which Real Madrid was playing against Juventus. So that one has probably some of the most expensive players in the world. And then after that, you have Juventus, and you had also some U.S. soccer flavor in it. So how was that game for you? It, I think my expectations were that maybe Real Madrid was going to go and win it easily, but that was not the case, and it took younger players um, to.
yeah. Garcia, the goal scorer for Real Madrid has actually been performing actually well during this tournament. Uh, like I was watching the game with my brother, then he was like, "This guy's playing better than Mbappe." Like I know Mbappe is Mbappe and stuff like that, but this guy has been producing. Like he scored today, and I don't know. It's just Real Madrid. They develop a bunch of players, they sign a bunch of players. Real Madrid's just different. But I expected there to be more goals during this game, at least like a 3-1 Real Madrid game, stuff like that. But yeah, Juventus were trying to battle it out, but I guess at the end of the day, just Real Madrid just ended up winning. But yeah, much respect to Juventus too. But yeah, Real Madrid's a team to watch, and next round will be exciting.
So yes, so pretty much what we'll do now for the round quarterfinals, we'll kind of have it kind of a speed round where we'll go over the team, and if you're courageous enough, go ahead and give us your prediction, and then after that we'll go from there to semifinal, and then we'll make it. All right, so for the first is going to be Palmeiras against Chelsea. Who do you think is going to take it, and score prediction?
Ooh, I think no, Chelsea's gonna. I think Chelsea's gonna end up winning the game. Yeah, yeah. I think some of the players are gonna step up, and the final score probably it's gonna be something 1-1 during halftime. But then Chelsea's just gonna be too much quality, and will probably be 3-1 final score for that game.
I think that's where I was heading to. So I'll probably sweat it a little bit more if it becomes 1-1 and see where those legs happens. But I kind of like that. So that will be so the next one it will be, and I'm going to always mess up their name, Flamentes
Fluminense.
against Al Hilal.
Yeah,
That's the
this
fun one.
is yeah. Yeah, I expect there to be a lot of goals this game. Yeah, it should be an exciting game. Yeah, I expect Al Hilal to end up, yeah, because they just have, like I said previously, like those former top European players that ended up signing with them. Yeah, I'm Al Hilal winning 2-0, maybe, but
Oh,
nah. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'll go with that.
hey, look, hey, you might want to bet money on that. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, just a 2-0 game for that one for sure.
All right, all right. So then the next one is PSG against Bayern Munich.
Ooh. This is probably like the best game. Ooh, PSG just but they've played a bunch of games, but don't have tired legs. They dominated Inter Miami, so no. Then but Bayern Munich has a bunch of quality players.
Yep.
I expect this game to go the extra time, and maybe it's a tough one, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Bayern Munich and PKs. Yeah, I'll go with that prediction. Bayern Munich and PKs over PSG.
So let's just say I won't hold that against you if Bayern Munich actually wins it.
No,
I'm
I
thinking
would want
PSG will
PSG
take
to
it.
win.
Yes.
I want PSG to win, but I don't know. Just somehow Bayern Munich winning in PKs. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Maybe I'm conflicted, but I have I think PSG winning 2-1, and if they score in the first, we'll say 10 minutes, I think it's going to be another route. For So the next one is Dortmund versus Real Madrid. I think that's the other hard one.
Yeah, well, Dortmund played well, then Real Madrid. No, I still have Real Madrid winning. Yeah, they just have too many good players. It depends if Mbappe starts as well, but we'll see how it goes. I have Real Madrid winning this game. Let's say another 3-1 game, Real Madrid over Dortmund. Yeah, yeah. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, Real Madrid 3-1.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they won't be the Bellingham brothers because I think the his younger brother got another yellow card and it when accumulated. So, which I hate FIFA for doing that. I keep not erasing the yellow cards until the final because that's kind of stupid. Because now we're missing brothers playing against each other.
Yeah, that would have been fun to watch.
All right, so the next one. So going to the so semifinals, you have Chelsea versus Al Hilal, and you have Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. So
Yeah.
we will put you on the spot for this on the score line, but who from those four teams is going to make it to the final?
From those four teams.
So then now you have Bayern versus Real.
Then Al Hilal versus Chelsea.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Bayern and Chelsea are going to end up playing. Yeah, in the final. But Al Hilal is going to it's against Chelsea. That's a good matchup. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
like I
a
have
lot of
that
money there
game.
playing.
Yeah, a bunch of goals in that game. But yeah, I just have Chelsea just by a little bit. Like, but yeah, I still have them over Al Hilal and Bayern over Real Madrid. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah, Bayern over Real Madrid on that one.
you're going for a whole bunch of upsets.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, that's how the tournament goes. At least you saved me from one of my teams making it. So now the final. So it's Chelsea versus Bayern Munich, which I as a European, welcome. I appreciate that it will be all European final. I don't know about my counter friends, from America, South America. They they were celebrating when every Brazilian team were beating Europeans. So I kind of appreciate seeing two of them play. So now the question: who will take it all for you? And we will spare you from the results. We won't do that to you.
um, yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but Bayern is going to be
Oh,
getting the win over Chelsea. Yeah, just too much talent, too much quality players, well coached. Yeah, they're a good team to watch, and I expect them to win the final. But yeah, much respect to Chelsea. Like I said, I had them getting to the final, and hopefully they do end up getting in the final, or else it'll make my predictions look silly. But yeah, I just have Bayern taking it all the way.
not silly. It biased bracket. So I think that's what kind of works for you. So I guess for me, since I will go ahead and put it, I think it will be Chelsea above Palmeiras, and then whew, I think Al Hilal will go through. And on the other side, I think PSG will go and Real Madrid, and the final will be Chelsea against PSG, which will give me the biggest headache of my life because those are the two teams I support.
Mhm.
But I will go with my hometown of Paris to win it all. So they will pretty much win 5 trophies this year. So you might think I'm crazy, but I think that's where I'm thinking they will be like the world dominating and probably
No,
go to
that's a good prediction for the final. Like, it's yeah. If I had PSG on the other side, I could see a PSG Bayern Munich, but that next game, yeah, it just has me Bayern going all the way. But yeah, I could also see that happening, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah, there've been a lot of turns. But yes, so yes, I definitely appreciate your time. Last minute, and I do not know what's happening with this internet here, but it keeps cutting off. But for those that have been living under a rock, so could you tell them, what your podcast is about and how they can reach out to you and what you have upcoming?
Yeah, well, on Instagram we're really huge, I guess so. In the college soccer space, you could follow us at Kickaball Pod. Yeah, we cover college soccer, USL2 soccer, which is a summer league that college soccer's play in. So yeah, I cover a bunch of that. I go to a bunch of games out here in Southern California, and yeah, just we have a bunch of interviews with the top college soccer players. Well, we try to get them with the top college soccer coaches as well. Then we also mix in USL Championship, USL League One. Like we've had a few coaches on it as well. But yeah, this fall I'm going to be all over all over California covering soccer. So if there's anyone from California watching me, yeah, I'll be super busy. Like, yeah, during the whole week I'll be at a different game and stuff like that. And we're also going to be covering college women's soccer this year because there's going to be two more people that are going to be helping me out, so I won't just be going all over. But yeah, since yeah, but like I said, you could follow us on Instagram at Kickaball Paul, then also our YouTube channel where we post all our interviews. Just type in Kickaball Paul and we'll pop up, and we also post a few stuff on Twitter. But yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun. Like, I don't do a bunch of media stuff because I'm always behind the scenes and stuff, like just grinding, working, like making a bunch of posts, editing the podcast. But I'm trying to get more into it and stuff like that because I've been working hard. But yeah, just thank you for having me on.
Anytime, yes, and that's what I saw when you were available. He's like, you know what, that's what we always had a lot of those conversation. I guess on Twitter and others, which I did not know for some reason. I was not following you guys on Instagram, which is kind of weird, but maybe it's in my other personal one. But yeah, yes, you guys are definitely doing great work, especially on the college space, because those guys and ladies definitely need a lot more eyeballs on them, especially those that typically don't have the same coverage as the big schools that usually gobble all the attention. So it's always good to see you guys, repping anyone that's doing great work. And I'm in the Midwest, you guys are in the West Coast, so um, hopefully we'll just join it and you know get all of the small states in between and make it known that there's ballers in the US and not just across the pond. So definitely appreciate your time. Hopefully next time there will not be so much hiccup. So we'll have to figure out
Yeah,
what that is from. But
yeah, sorry about that too. It's on me and stuff. I just moved to a new apartment. Probably the setup isn't good. The Wi-Fi isn't good, so that's on me.
oh,
I'll
no,
probably have that.
oh no, I'm not sure which it is, but that is the beauty of going live, right? You never know
Hmm.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, but like I said, thank you for having me on, and yeah, hopefully we stay in touch. And yeah, just follow us. Like I said, Kick a Ball Pod on YouTube and Instagram, and we post a lot. So yeah, thank you for having me on.
Oh, oh yes, and we'll definitely connect and keep talking, and I think we have also a few people that we have in connection when it comes to college soccer and the pros, USL and others. So we'll definitely try to make something fun. Now it's the Club World Cup, and then after that we have the Women's World Cup, and then we have the World and all of the things that comes in between. So this is like the perfect time to connect the dots from across all of the coasts and soccer, and make it a huge party next year.
Yeah, so yeah, just keep on doing your thing too, man. I've been supporting you from afar and stuff like that, and just also wanted to apologize because I know St. Louis isn't doing as good, but like I said,
Yeah,
yeah.
it happens.
Well, I'm an LAFC fan. They're not doing as bad as our rivals, but yeah, just uh, like I said, thank you for having me on, and I wish you nothing but the best, man.
All right, hey, LAFC has a lot of French guys, so you know everybody makes fun that says that sometimes it's my team undercover because there's French guys there, but it is what it is, and it's always fun. But with that said, again, thanks for joining, and do all the fun stuff. If you like this type of podcasts, make sure you follow Mo Football on I think all social media as well. And next year for the European season, I will be doing live streaming of not only PSG games but Chelsea and a little bit of South Africa and the rest of the African continent to show that there's ballers all across the world and it never stops. But with that said, thank you all for joining.